Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I wanted to start off with, I think I covered a tweet from this guy the other day, and he put out another really good one. This is from Neil Duncan. He's at Neil J. Duncan. Breaking, June 23rd, Augustin Carstens, manager of the Bank of International Settlements, writes an article entitled New Waters, in which he breaks down critical info about the implementation of fintech in central banks. And it's this guy right here. And I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that have read a lot about this guy and his organization, that this guy's a pretty important player in the whole game. But I just wanted to read this to you. Central banks are also upgrading their payment systems, which are crucial to the functioning of the global economy. To be ready for the future, they are opening their doors to new players such as fintechs and mobile payment schemes with a view to increasing competition and ensuring a level playing field for retail payment systems used for processing everyday consumer transactions. New fast payment systems allow transfers within seconds, anytime and anywhere. Some companies are testing cashless systems, no cashiers, no lines, no cash, no physical payment devices. Really interesting stuff, folks. But that's a great tweet right there. Give Neil J. Duncan a follow. He's doing a good job out there. Next, I saw this is from Barry Silbert. And Barry Silbert, remember a while back they started. Let me make sure. I always have to assume that I have new listeners that are listening to me. Barry Silbert is the CEO of the Digital Currency Group, which owns Grayscale. Grayscale has the GBTC, which is a gold, it's a gold trust, not a gold. It is a Bitcoin trust that you can invest in through like your IRA. I own some of it myself. Well, he started the Drop Gold campaign. It says 1 month into the Drop Gold movement, gold price was at $12.76 when they started and has increased to $13.05, 2%. Bitcoin was at 5,300 and is now at 8,800, plus 66%. And then I believe this is his second debate with Peter Schiff, because I think that this is a new one. They had a debate before, and it was worth watching. And now, because this was published by Peter Schiff, you can go to Peter Schiff's channel if you want to watch this. Published on May 31st, 2019. So if you want to go watch this is a really good thing to check out. Okay. Next. Now this is interesting. Now remember, TA Academy, Trade Different, at Kia Crypto is his handle. I like showing his stuff, and this is the reason. This is the guy that sent me messages, and he was correct in his prediction on Bitcoin, on the price movement on Bitcoin, and then a couple of weeks later on XRP as well. I don't see that often, and so I kind of listen when he talks about things having to do with charting. Chart of shame: the S&P 500 shows the signs of bubbles are about to crash. Drop stocks, buy BTC, buy XRP. So this is what he's talking about, a double top pattern. This is the double top pattern from 2008 when we had the financial crisis. And then this is the double top pattern in 2019 right now. And he's trying to show how similar the pattern is. And so I thought that was very interesting. That looks like a great picture for a thumbnail. Okay, and then from C3 Nick. C3 Nick had kind of, I think he had mentioned, so he copied Binance on this earlier. He's replying here to CZ Binance, saying customers are beginning to leave your platform because of the lack of XRP trading pairs. Please take note. And he's talking about how BitTrue has more trading pairs and CZ. And I think that CZ will listen to this, and I think that he will add more XRP trading pairs. pairs. He's been very responsive to all kinds of questions like this in the past. No reason to believe he won't. Brian Melancholy XRP at Mike Honcho _11, and he sends us this sent me this tweet from, and he was highlighting something at the bottom of it, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the top part's interesting too. Is Bitcoin the next safe haven asset? Recommend his recent release on the U.S.-China trade war and BTC impact. Pompliano joins me to discuss and will answer your questions. So they're talking about Bitcoin becoming a safe haven asset, which we've been talking about for a year. And then someone asked him, says he up here, what does Pompliano think about Hashgraph? Never heard his opinion on this. And then he responds, I recently interviewed the chief scientist of Hashgraph, and the interview will post in the next 2 weeks. What he's talking about there is Hedera Hashgraph, or I think that's what he's talking about, Hedera Hashgraph, which is not blockchain. It's supposed to be like third or fourth generation, but it's like technology that's third or fourth, and it's not called blockchain. It's called Hashgraph, but it's kind of similar. I don't understand it all yet, but hopefully we will over time. Now, for those of you that don't follow Crypto Wizard, this guy's a good follow. He's a chart guy too, and is really good at what he does. At Crypto WZRD _. He says 0.445 looks like a massive trap for sellers to go short. XRP would kindly advise you be a man and continue proceeding. Kind regards, Wizard. I thought he got some pretty fun, witty tweets that he puts out, and then he did this one. Keep 8,360 to 8,370 in mind as a final manipulative pullback level. And so he's talking about Bitcoin, of course, there. So he's a good guy to listen to. I see a lot of people that really do listen to what this guy says, and he's a pretty sharp guy. Okay, Bitcoin Blockbot at BTC Blockbot. Whale alert, someone moved 63,493 BTC. That's $539 million worth in block 579033. Wouldn't you like to be that person? I thought that was pretty neat. And then there's another tweet from Anthony Pompliano. Wall Street is completely underestimating Bitcoin. They don't recognize the value drivers of network effects, branding, scarcity, computing power, decentralization, etc. The bankers' lack of understanding is the average citizen's opportunity. I 100% agree with that, but it's not just Bitcoin, and I do disagree with this part of it, the computing power. I don't think that I would even mention that. Okay, next from Mike Preston. He sent me this. All right. Well, I don't know. I think he sent me something different, but I've moved on. But anyway, go give Mike Preston a follow. He's a good guy. Ripple sent this out this afternoon, and this is interesting. Raising the bar, reporting on volume and sales of XRP. In recent months, several third-party sources have called into question reported volume in digital asset markets. The recent SEC report from Bitwise is perhaps the most widely cited, but several others, including the Blockchain Transparency Institute and Data Accountability and Transparency Alliance, have also issued reports suggesting exaggerated numbers and overall inaccuracy in the way data is reported by up to 95%, according to Bitwise. As an industry, we can and must do better. They say they're going to do. Let's see. While we aren't claiming to have an exact solution, we are taking steps at Ripple to address these concerns and the questions they raise about the overall reliability of market structure and reporting at digital asset exchanges worldwide. We are actively working with trusted partners in the space to better understand scope and scale of the problem. We are evaluating our approach to XRP volume reporting, including reviewing new options and requirements for sourcing market data. We are taking a more conservative approach to XRP sales this quarter. So they've got a whole write-up here, and apparently they're just trying to make sure that everything's correct and transparent. Okay, and finally, I got this from Bryce Curry at BRCINFAY. Digital asset investor, here's one for you today. I have a handicap van for sale. A person wrote me a check for the van, but I said that you can't have the van till the check clears. Now, 4 days later, I asked the bank, has it cleared? They don't know, and they can't verify it with the other $. Okay, the other bank. Now imagine that this transaction is done with digital assets. If you have XRP or Bitcoin or whatever, you could prove it to that person and close that transaction right there on the spot from phone to phone if you really wanted to. And if you can't now, you could do it pretty soon. So imagine no more checks, all that bull. You don't need any more of that. So that's a great illustration of what's coming. Now, from Galgatron, I thought this was hilarious. Asking a BTC Maxi where XRP is centralized. Now, for those of you that have never seen this was I think it was Miss America or something, but she's asked a question in this clip, and it is just hilarious, the way that the response comes out of this. Unbelievable. It's one of those cringeworthy moments where you're just like, oh, I can't really watch this. This is too bad. It's such an awkward moment. Anyway, I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that Galgatron put out a funny tweet. It's pretty darn good. And he's a definite follow, by the way. I forgot to mention, @GALGITRON. Thanks for listening.